Introducing Instagram Teen Accounts, a new way to keep your teens safer as they grow, like making sure they've got the right gear for riding.
Knee pads.
Check.
And helmet?
Done. See you, Dad.
New Instagram Teen Accounts, automatic protections for who can contact your teen and the content they can see.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
I gots to get me a headset that I can take with me, except I'd lose it within 20 minutes.
Yes, you would.
Since I last talked to you in person, I have lost 3 pair of reading glasses, including one of my prized 350s that cost me. I got 2 that cost me $90. Sturdy, nice case. One of them disappeared last night at the hockey game.
I just got a box of them from Amazon for about $9.
You go with the cheapies. I like these.
Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah,
flexible things.
Yeah, right. Well, I had these for 2 years, and last night, I don't know what happened. I had to clean out my bag looking for a pass, and it might be, I don't know where it is, but I lost it.
Can I tell you something?
It's not in the press box at the Wild game, so.
I want to get this off my chest.
Yes.
I don't like the Wild's power play, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Nothing good happens on the perimeter, and they spend way too much time going sideboard to sideboard to point to point to sideboard to point to point to sideboard. Put it on the net. Good things happen.
We'll let the rebound.
Let the rebounds happen. There are no rebounds if you're playing tic-tac-toe way out here on the perimeter. I know what you're doing.
Too much foreplay.
I know what you're doing, and the other, and then also erase the need for the perfect setup. You're not going to get it. It's the National Hockey League. These guys are too good. You're not going to get the perfect setup. Quit playing out on the perimeter. Get the puck on the net. Part 2 of that is it's probably not new, but I'm beginning to notice it more and more. I love the new entry. The entry used to be just throw it in and go get it.
Go chase it, yeah.
Now the entry is you give it to some guy back inside his blue line, and he's going 152 miles an hour.
Trying to skate it
all
in.
right, then go all the way. Go all the way and shoot it. Don't stop and start your tic-tac-toe on the perimeter.
Okay.
It's driving me nuts. It's a bad power play.
I do always wonder when the puck hasn't made it all the way to the goalie, right? Mm-hmm. So the puck's 25 feet, still out on the ice. You're on a power play. You can pick up the puck and you go down and you skate around behind the net.
Nothing happens behind the net either.
Your own net. I mean, your own net.
Yeah.
What are you wasting 5 seconds for?
And
turn around.
Dallas won the game on 2 power play goals, so they got a power play that works. You guys don't have a power play that works. And you got to you have to dump it. You have to have a whole new way to think about it.
Our fans and our team very upset on the 2 Foligno penalties that led to goals. My theory is you can be very upset about the goals, but your penalty kill should not operate at a 33% level. Dallas only had 3 power plays and they scored twice.
Yeah.
Our boys had 4 power plays. They scored once because they pulled the goalie and scored it 6-4.
And the other thing, by losing that game, you gave Dallas back their home ice. So
yeah, but you know what? Here's what you got in your favor. I think you're better than they are.
I'm not sure.
They have poor old Ryan Suter, 38 years
but
old.
He's been having a hell of a series.
On their first defensive pair.
And he's still giving you 25 minutes a game.
Yeah, they still are playing him, getting the last ounce after him. But if you want to hear a crowd shout Suter sucks, it's you can that's gonna. I'm sure that's rattling him when he gets the puck.
They got to change that power play. It's terrible. It's terrible.
All right. Well, you know what I discovered last night? I heard I wasn't there obviously on Friday night, but Tom Reed told me this. Other people told me this. It was as crazed as a wild crowd had ever been.
On Sunday or Friday?
Friday night.
Well, they had to be tuned up by 8:30.
You took away my punchline because yesterday it was they were fired up, but it was like a normal playoff game, right? And I said, oh yes, 3 extra hours of drinking time.
Yes, sir.
That does make a difference.
Will somebody listening to this show take what I just said to Dean, please?
Yes. Might save his job. You know what?
He's not in trouble if they lose.
I don't think he is, but you never know about NHL teams.
That's true.
They just, but the good thing about Dean, and I said this earlier today, the good thing about Dean is if he does get fired, he'll have a new job in like 2 weeks.
Don't you usually get 5 cracks at it when you're in NHL?
This team should advance in the playoffs.
Yes, I think so. I think they're better than them.
No, I'm saying they should. I'm not saying they will. Not with that power play.
No. Well, it's the playoffs, Joe. That's when you have to score your goals.
Well, then shoot it and let it bounce off somebody's butt.
No, what I'm saying is that...
And Mr. Stir the Pot over here, he unleashes Fleury would have had that one.
Yeah, the first one, yes.
Did you tweet that?
Yeah, right away. The first goal was Fleury would have had that one. I think my one tonight is going to be you got to play Fleury in game. You got to play Fleury with a experienced guy in game 5 here. So
God, you had another good one that actually made me chuckle out loud. Did it make me chortle?
I don't know. You could have chortled. Yeah,
I got to find it because it was pretty good.
They are.
You'll have to take over the Timberwolves because I don't pay any attention to them.
I was there, Joe. It was. Did you watch it all, Chris?
The Wolves game?
Yeah,
I did. Yeah.
Joe, here's this scrappy team. Should be eliminated. They're playing a 1 seed. They're missing 2 of their top 6 players, right? It's like missing 2X instead of 1, right? Mm-hmm. And they're messing around, and it looks like they're going to get beat again. And then all of a sudden, they go on this explosion. Edwards goes crazy, and and they get up by 12 points. And what? 2 minutes to go?
If that,
2 minutes to go. And a minute later, it's tied. It was the quickest urinating away a lead I've ever seen in my life.
And I have
Finch, I like Finch, but Finch's explanation was, well, they made their threes. Well, after they make the first 2, maybe you want to go out and make them make a 2.
And I have the transcript from Karl Anthony Towns during that game. He said, foul! Foul!
He wasn't that bad.
Are you kidding me?
He wasn't.
It was every time he had the ball.
But they all are that way. Gobert, the other guy.
I suppose.
Why did Denver just say to themselves, "Let's not"?
You know what?
This.
They wanted to give the owner one more home game.
But no. But they had this furious comeback. They go to overtime. One of the Edwards has the ball at the end, and you know the moron wants to throw up a 28-footer.
Yep.
So he dribbles around. Then he's going to try to go to the basket, and they strip him of the ball. They never get a shot off. Almost give them a chance to win a game. Then they go to overtime, and you say they are going to get outscored 17-0, and they win. This is a really weird team. Now we don't know if Kyle Anderson's blind or not. He got poked in the eye by Edwards. So
when do they next play? Tomorrow,
Tuesday night, same time. Although the Wild play at a reasonable time, a little after 7.
I thought about Sir Sidney. Wasn't he always upset when they scheduled the Wild and the Wolves in the same night?
Except he never went to a Wild game, so I don't know why he cared. But yes, he did. But you playoffs, you can't do anything about it.
True.
It is,
Yeah, you ain't going to win the series unless you change the power play.
I agree. I believe you. I'm not a real expert on it, but certainly there's something wrong when they. Maybe you want to change the penalty kill, too. They aren't very good.
And Kasparov, with about 10 minutes to play, finally started shooting again instead of looking for the pass.
Yes.
Shoot it, you little commie.
After the first Foligno penalty, he then runs into the guy behind the boards, and the guy responds and hits, and so our boys go on the power play. On that power play, Kaprizov, wide open net, missed it. What happened there?
He missed it.
He's 12 feet away.
Right.
Come on. Thought you were.
And
then he also screwed up a breakaway. So
I did find the tweet that made me chuckle out loud. This was yesterday at 1:28 a.m. So you were up late.
Yeah.
You were up late.
What are you, like Trump? You tweet all night?
No, I must have been falling off and had an inspiration.
Rumor out here, Vikes would like to trade for Trey Lance.
Oh, yes.
Wouldn't it be great if he came in here, became a fantastic quarterback, and we could repeat regularly the tale of PJ trying to sell Trey coming to Minnesota to play safety?
Yes, I like to throw that. Somebody told me he was really sensitive about that.
Who, PJ or Trey?
PJ.
Oh, really?
So I thought I'd throw it out there just for.
They said that the subject.
Somebody
ask you
told me
something.
that Fleck is very sensitive about Lance.
Did you do it at 1:28 just to make sure you did it? Why didn't you just make a note to yourself?
Because I was already in bed and I had the phone sitting there and I would have fell asleep, but I didn't.
He's dedicated to the bit.
Did you go to the Twins game yesterday?
I went to the Twins game, the Wild game, and the Wolves game.
Well, how much time did you give each?
I stayed and watched the Twins. Well, got there at noon and stayed through 6. I parked at the Target Center.
Yeah.
I mean, at Target Field,
The ramp.
Yep, the ramp. I watched 6 innings. I had a 245, 250 Uber, right? And back in the old days, I would have left in the top of the 4th?
Easily.
Yesterday I saw 6 innings, right?
Yeah.
Then I went to St. Paul.
In an Uber?
In an Uber.
Because you were staging your car.
Yes, I didn't want to have to
Right.
park it back over in St. Paul and walk blocks and do everything. So I got this crazy Kenyan guy who moved in a few years ago. He had a bit of a lead foot.
Did he?
We were going to the freeway, didn't have that much traffic, but
We were getting there.
so we go by Dale there, and the Dale exit, and I
Yeah.
said, next exit here, we want to go on Kellogg Blown. And I said, so get over the right lane here. And he's still not in the right lane. He's going 70 miles an hour. So I said, hey, get over in the right lane. Now we're 100 yards.
Please get in the right
now we're about 100 yards away from Kellogg Boulevard. He's still driving like a maniac.
Oh.
And he says, next exit, meaning the one after, the one going the other
10th Street.
direction on Marion,
Yeah.
I said, no, here, get in the right lane. And then thank you for the ride.
He did it on 2 wheels, probably.
Yeah, oh, God, yeah. And it was not the second Uber I had, that was a nice car, but this one was not choice.
You know what? I solved it. That's where you left your glasses. 2 Uber rides?
Yeah.
Guaranteed
it's
that's
in
where you
one of the
left
cars.
them.
Probably in one of the cars,
Yep.
yeah, that's right.
No one that I'm aware of in the entire world has ever paid $90 for cheaters.
But these,
No, you're wrong.
These were 350s.
Fine, but buy 6
where do you
pair
get-
for $10.
You can't get 350s.
You can get
Amazon.
350s.
You can get 350s.
Yeah, these are almost
You know the
350.
thing about it? You got them from Amazon, right?
Well, yeah, I put in
Wherever
the
she
order.
orders them.
Yeah.
You know what? I could order them this afternoon. They'd be there tomorrow morning.
That's right.
They're crazy. They have stuff at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
They
Look
would
at
tweet at 1:28
Look at these.
a.m.
Look at these. I haven't lost mine.
Maybe
There
I'll
they
do
are.
that.
There you go.
Maybe I'll do that.
Does it come with the case, though, Joe? It came with the case.
Yeah, but I never use the case. Okay.
All right.
So I don't care if they have a case.
Got it.
They're cheaters. The hell with them. Treat them like they're cheaters.
Right.
Okay, now we've had
other
the Wild,
thing-
we've had the Timberwolves, now about the Twins.
The Twins,
Polanco had a nice day.
yeah, that was nice. I was there Saturday, and boy, were they. Pablo Lopez, who we just gave a
Too much money to
$72 million extension after. They actually gave it to him after 3 starts. They apparently negotiated with his agent in the concourse at Yankee Stadium.
You're kidding.
Last Saturday to finalize into details, and then he pitched the next day against the Yankees and pitched good. But then he pitched this game, and I was telling everybody, this could be the worst extension since Randy Dobnik, except it's 8 times more expensive.
But conditions played into his outing.
But you know what? Modern sports mentality of managers and stuff, neither of them seized on his fingers being cold or something, and he couldn't grip his pitches because he didn't want to insult the Marlins with 1 game left. That was my thing, because they both said, well, the Marlins had a really good approach against me. They said the same thing. So I got Rocco going to him after the game and saying, don't make any excuse, because we got to play these guys once more. Or the Nationals, even though they stink. So
okay. Because you could tell that slider was all over the place.
Are the Yankees in town tonight?
They are.
Tonight, it won't be a full house tonight.
Not with this
should
weather.
Be cold again. A little better tomorrow, maybe.
I think it's supposed to warm up a tad bit as the week progresses. Is this a 3-game or a 4-game?
3, I think.
3. Okay.
And then those Royals come to town.
Oh boy, are they bad.
4-17.
How about your Pittsburgh Pirates?
Unbelievable.
We saw them in spring training twice.
Shelty, good old Shelty.
We got an extension.
Yeah.
We saw them in spring training twice, and I was sitting next to an old-timer Pirates fan, and I said, how are we looking this year? He's like, we're probably going to be again this year.
Well, we'll see.
He wasn't optimistic.
We'll see if they hang in, but it's a good. It's better than being 4-17 or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, the Oakland. Did you see Oakland has got a deal to go to Las Vegas?
Yep.
Not till 27 though, but I bet they're going to have to go and play in that minor league park because they can't stay in Oakland. They're drawing 3,000 a game.
And a lot of geologists are saying just in time, because that Oakland ballpark is ground zero for the next earthquake.
Yeah.
Really? Mm-hmm. Is it on the Strip? Or is it?
No.
Vegas?
Yeah.
I'm talking about the park in Oakland.
Oh, you're saying the one in Oakland. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know where they're going to put it in
I thought they
Vegas.
said by the Strip.
I think it'll be on the Strip.
No, they're doing everything. I've read something. They're doing everything they can to keep people from coming to the game. You want to park at the Oakland Coliseum? You bet there with that lousy lot there. $30.
That's not good. Yeah, plus, I told you, they got possums.
Oh, they do. They got possums, right? They got a possum. Just think, if they don't tear that stadium down as soon as it's back, possums will have the. You got to get a team in there in some other sport and call them the Possums.
There
don't
you go. Yes,
yeah, right.
And end up like the what's the banana team? That's the goofy. They do all the goofy stuff. Aren't the Savannah Bananas? Have you seen those guys? They should do the possum bit.
Where do the Warriors play their home games?
They're a beautiful arena downtown. They charge more for tickets than any place
in Oakland or Frisco.
In San Francisco, down but near the water. I haven't been there, but it's down near the water.
Because it's brand new, right? They just opened that a year or two ago.
Or something. I guess the prices are ungodly.
And they sell it out.
Yeah. NBA had a really, you used to look at the hockey attendance, and it was always way better. But the Wolves averaged 16.9 this year, and they were 27th in the league in attendance.
Wow.
And they had a much improved year. I don't know what's going on. Maybe they've learned how to pad attendance better.
The Timberwolves averaged 16,000 a game?
Yeah, it's the high 16s this year.
Really?
They had good sport this year. They weren't sold out last night, though, no matter what they tell you, because way up there, in no man's land, up by the ceiling.
You know why?
Which they don't have open as much.
They didn't do the whiteout.
Don't you think people are getting tired of the late starts, though?
Yes.
Well, especially on a Sunday.
On a Sunday.
That's a school night.
Right.
Plus, you're down 3-0.
Yeah.
They don't want to go there for the execution. You know how many times teams have come back from 3-0 in the NBA?
I don't.
Never.
0.
Really?
Never in history.
Well, hockey, it's pretty rare. I think only once.
The King did it.
Toronto did it in the 40s.
JP was on a team.
Would have been on a Toronto team then.
JP was on I thought it was the Islanders.
The Islanders come back from a 3-0?
I thought so.
I'm on it.
Or maybe it was they got to the 7th game and got beat.
What time is the Wild game Tuesday?
Good. So you can watch it.
7 o'clock.
You can, if it doesn't go overtime, you can see the news after it's over.
And then they wait 2 days to host Dallas.
Yeah.
Wonder why. Why not Thursday? They wait till Friday.
Somebody said that Dallas is No, that's Los Angeles. Their basketball team's not in the playoffs.
Oh, no. They're at Dallas Tuesday, 7
they're back
p.m.
here.
They're back here on Friday, not Thursday. Has the Eck got a concert maybe?
May have a show. 4 times, Joe, in the NHL has a team come back from 3-0 deficits.
When did Toronto do it?
The 2014 Los Angeles King beat the Shark and then went on to win the Cup. In 2010, the Flyer came back and beat the Bruin.
Yep.
75, the
What
Island.
happened to the Flyer? Was that a first rounder?
3-0 deficit in the 7th game. It doesn't note how they ended up faring later on. In 75, the Island came back against the Penguins.
JP, I'm talking about.
And in 42, the Leafs came back against the Wing.
The Leafs.
Yep.
You remember that one.
I do.
Who was the star? King Clancy, a player and not a coach then?
Toronto in 42.
I wonder who the
I don't know.
World War guys.
Who they beat? Who did the Leaf beat in 42?
They beat the Wing.
The Wing, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that was the Stanley Cup final.
Wow.
The 42 final. They were up 3-0.
Well, it was done by April 10th,
Right.
probably.
Is baseball still only the Red Sox?
I think so.
Does that happen again?
I'll check, but I'm almost positive it's just the Red Sox.
Not the World. Never happened in the World Series, obviously. But I think the Red Sox, when they beat the Yankees and won their first World Series.
It's not going to happen between Denver and Minnesota and the Timberwolves.
No, it's
Never
not.
know.
I was going to go on Twitter last night. You can argue with me, but I still think Denver's going to win this series.
I had young people asking me.
It's easy to say the most obvious thing in the world and make
Get
it
people
sound
going.
make it sound like it's a pronouncement of great.
Well, hell,
thing.
people make careers off doing that
Yes,
nationally.
yes.
It is the Red Sox 04.
I had young people asking me why the NBA has such Jewish origins. And my only answer I could come up with was, I don't know, inner city.
Yeah, I think they come from the game comes from New York. Almost all, and New York with a huge Jewish population, they just like basketball.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yes.
what it was.
I didn't really come up with much of an answer.
No,
Okay.
but it and then it permeated itself all around the country.
Yeah.
I mean, if Sid was Irish, they wouldn't have been hiring him to run the Chicago Bulls
Right.
or something like. He had all the Jewish pals from the East Coast and all those places.
It was like your buddy that ran the garment district.
You make
Are you comfortable?
I make a nice living.
Wasn't he in New York? He was
Yeah, he's a New Yorker.
Yeah, that's what I
It
thought.
happened in the garment. The accident was in the garment district. Terrible accident. I went put my coat under his head and I said, "Are you comfortable?" And he said, "I make a nice living."
Old Jewish humor is pretty funny in the corny way that it is. Any young man. Well, the other thing, show business. God Almighty, Hollywood is
Right.
that's the source of it. And stand-up comedy with the corny jokes is very Jewish too.
Well, then maybe the NBA also benefited from maybe Jewish promoters,
Yeah. I mean, Abe Saperstein.
theater, vaudeville.
Yeah, I bet that was it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
But the best, the sharpest guys in the NBA are the guys who get $10 million a year and don't even own a team. Remember
the
those
guys
guys?
from the Spirit of St. Louis,
Yep,
right? The guys
yep.
from St. Louis.
Yep.
Do they still get the royalty
They
check?
get royalties every year.
Somehow, did they have to sue to get it, or was that they were going to be able to block the merger?
I think they could block the merger.
That was quite a team. They had some Spirit of St. Louis. They had some lunatics on that roster.
Now I remember what I was going to ask you. So what part of the transition period are we in between Taylor and A-Rod and Laurie?
Well,
When's the handoff?
I think they've still only come up with $400 million.
Because they're selling it for $2, right? $2 bill?
1.5, which
Or
is
1.5.
a bargain price now.
Well, the Suns just sold for $4.
4, and the Bucks sold for 3.5. Wow. So,
Billion
yes.
Yes. With a B, Joe.
in Milwaukee?
Yes. But they
Just won a title. They got a brand new arena.
They better get the Greek back though, else they're not going to the Turk or they're not going to win that series.
So they're still trying to come up with the cash is what we're dealing with here.
Yes, without they can get other investors easy, but they want to keep them.
Just those two.
This could end up being a Norm Green situation where Howie the hairdo bought the team, but he didn't have the money. A lot more money this time, but could be that they're going to have to take in an investor who's going to be the guy, So A-Rod's still walking around though. At the
Well, he was at the game last
He's
year.
been at the playoff. Yeah, he's showing up at the playoffs.
Is he accompanied by?
He's there's a.
You can be
just
careful.
Accidentally noticed this a couple of times.
Yeah.
Well, you're in press row.
There's a blonde who's got a little A-Rod age on her. She's about, what's A-Rod now?
45, 50?
A little older. This gal's not old, but, she's attractive.
Seasoned.
Yeah, seasoned is a perfect word. And then I got to...
oh, God help me.
He's got his phone on.
Yeah.
Are they calling about your car warranty program?
No. And then... okay.
The seasoned blonde with A-Rod.
And then there's like a kid or something. And then around the corner, there's a much younger model and very attractive. And I'm not sure she's part of the group, but she's nearby. So
I see.
Anyway, I don't know. I think it's complicated.
Well, it can be.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The other
She
guy,
is Canadian fitness instructor Jacqueline Corderio.
Is she a blonde?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
She looks
That's
seasoned?
her.
I'll say.
Yeah, she's not. She's not real young, right? She doesn't look
I would
terribly
say
young.
she looks in her late
40.
30s, early 40s.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Good for A-Rod. What did he and Jennifer get married?
I don't believe so. Just engaged.
They were just engaged.
Just engaged, I believe.
She decided that.
She's now married to Ben Affleck.
Really?
Yes.
So he had Jennifer Garner.
Yep.
And who else?
Jennifer and
Not sure.
J-Lo, they just spent some time together with the kids.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, a
Okay.
little outing at the
they
park.
Get along good.
Yeah. It worked out.
Who was Jennifer's previous husband?
Which one, Lopez or?
No, Garner.
Oh, that I can't answer. Joe's your Hollywood correspondent, not me.
I've lost track of those things. Yeah. God. I'm not talking to you. Okay. Call later. I'm doing a very important show here.
Yes.
That's
Trying to do a
that's
show
college
here.
basketball referee Eric Curry trying to get all of me to make some
Big scoop.
smart aleck comment about the Timberwolves, I'm sure. I think he and I have a different opinion of Chris Finch. I think.
Are you
Finch,
not a fan?
No, I am. I like him.
Oh.
I think he's fine. I mean, think of all the things that got thrown at him this year.
Right.
Hey, I just made a big trade.
He's not their problem. I agree with you.
You got the 6'11" guy. I'm gonna give you a 7-foot clumsy guy to go with him, and you try to figure out how to play them together. And oh, by the way, then the other guy's gonna miss 52 games with a sore calf. So,
Right.
But
Are they going to end up blowing this up this offseason? Do you think?
I think they might try, but Towns is just starting. Will be just starting a $235 million contract, and he missed all those games, and he's not distinguishing himself in these playoffs. He's not. I think he's trying hard and doing everything, but there's not going to be a big demand for him.
No.
So anyway, I don't know what they're going to do. But how about Connolly? Rumors that he might go to Washington.
You're kidding.
No, because he's from out there and he used to work for him. Well, they better give us a number one draft choice if he gets to go to. He's got an out in a couple of years, but he doesn't have.
How can he do that? He can't be promoted.
Because he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to have to solve this mess he created. For goodness sake! So
he's one of those guys.
Yeah, I don't know.
Huh? Didn't he get an ownership taste too?
I can't remember.
I thought he did.
Maybe they're asking him for some money so they can buy the team. I don't know what's going on. But, yeah, that'll be over Tuesday, and then we will clear the decks for a wild playoff run. I talked to Tommy Reed. I said, I bet you're hoping that Dallas wins one of the next two so you can get Game 6, right, for another home, because business was good yesterday when I was there.
There's definitely going to be a Game 6.
Yes, yeah, it so is. But this was before the game, and he said, I just as soon win it in 5 because that would guarantee another series, which would give you three more home games in all likelihood. So,
But could you imagine? You said that Game 6 would be Friday night, or did you say Thursday night?
We're going to wait till Friday for some
So
reason.
could you imagine if they win in Dallas tomorrow?
Yeah.
And they win it Friday night here, Reed's could stay open till dawn, and he's going to print money.
Right.
and especially if it's
Every
a late
joint
start.
along there will.
Oh, they all were good.
Yeah.
I was walking and they, what's the place that the truck
Park
stop or whatever stupid thing it is?
Yeah.
They had 1,000 young people in there, and across the street everybody was full. It was hopping to say the least.
See, Joe, what do you have to say to Melvin Carter now? St. Paul is happening.
He had nothing to do with it. Nothing.
Hey, good news in St. Paul down at the minor league ballpark too. Kirilloff, who had left the game, this kid hitter who's got wrist surgery and all the wrist problems. He left the game after 2 at-bats Friday, didn't play Saturday, and I'm wondering what's going on. Yesterday, he played first base and hit 2 home runs and drove in 5 runs.
That's good.
Be nice if they could get him back, because right now their hitting numbers are horrible as a team.
Pat, when they changed to become a Twins affiliate, did that affect their attendance in any way?
Well, because they're playing a much longer season, so the averages are way down. I mean, at this time of year, they're averaging 2,000-3,000. When you used to play from the middle of May. You know what I remembered? I just remembered what my thought today.
Here we go.
Here, I'm ready for my thought.
Then I have one for you.
We're at the end of April, and I came the University Avenue route today, and I was thinking, this is the time of year when you're driving through campus. You slow down to make sure you miss lights, right? you don't want to breeze through campus.
No, you want to take your time.
This is really the confession of an old man.
Everybody's walking with these big fur coats and hoods, and this weather terrible.
We're getting robbed.
It's ruining so many wonderful things that I can enjoy in my dotage.
That was Kenny's best line. Well, I better drive through campus. I hear there might be some construction. You lying.
Who was the twin that got hit in the face?
Kyle Farmer.
And he, I thought of this the other day. They showed him. He's got a little bruised
He had
lip.
to have teeth reconstructed.
Right, and he said, I'm getting better. I'll be back. You realize that Winnipeg has a player named Morgan Barron.
Yes. What'd we do to him?
He took a skate in the face, 75 stitches, played the rest of the game.
Well, he could have played the rest of the game because it would have taken him a long time to put in the stitches. How
Got
many shifts
cut in
did
the
he
first
miss?
period, played the entire second and third
So they
period.
stitched him up in the second.
75
They
stitches.
stitched him up between periods and said, "Go get him, son."
That's what he did.
That's right.
Little glue in there too.
They're giving the Golden Knights a much better tussle than I thought they would.
They got to win tonight to even her up.
Yeah, I don't think they will, but I thought they'd get blown out quick, but nobody gets blown out quick in the
It's
NFL.
hockey.
It's hockey, 3-2.
75 stitches.
Oof.
He's going to look like a pirate,
Yeah.
all carved up.
Oh, God.
What got him? A skate?
Yeah, there was a scrum in front of the net, not of people, but diving for the puck, and the goalie's skate came up, and he landed on the goalie's skate to the point where the Vegas players were helping him. He was bleeding so bad.
I'm taking this blood thinner. Look at my hand here.
That's not good.
I'm taking this blood thinner.
Stop taking
If
it.
I got cut with a skate, I'd be in trouble.
You would.
It'd be a big pool of blood.
There goes your hockey career.
How long you got to keep taking that?
I think I'm pretty well done with it. I don't know. Who knows?
Thank goodness you didn't get cut in that Uber. That guy would have driven 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, if he'd crashed and got my head through the windshield, even if that didn't kill me, I wouldn't like my chances. So.
75 stitches, and he's back in the game.
Yep.
I
Now,
can
the
name
other-
some twins who would be out for 2 years.
Well, so you think you don't think Cat would have played the second half? Then?
No.
I think Cat has really tried in this series. I think he's tried to change.
Maybe
his
he's
game.
embarrassed enough to try.
He tried. He tries to take the ball in the basket. They got this Aaron Gordon who's like a brick outhouse.
He is a big
about
dude.
6'8", and all he does is beat on him and never gets called for a foul. Finch went crazy the other night. Just called the referee. You could tell he just told the guy. I mean, the guy was so embarrassed he hadn't called the foul. He didn't even tee him up.
Right.
I mean, they were just beating on him. I mean, the referees enjoy seeing Cat get knocked to the floor, I think, because they resent him for all these years of complaining. The complaining last night, though, was two-sided and endless.
Oh, that's all you could hear in the broadcast, at least because I watched the local feed. Just, my God, that's all you hear when you watch a game is guys complaining to the referees.
It's hard for that. Now, Jokic ended up getting 4 or 5 fouls, but it's hard for him to miss a shot and not go to the free throw line, isn't it? Jokic.
Yeah.
I mean, they take pretty good care of him, but God, is he good. Oh.
Yeah.
7-foot point guard.
When he's hitting it from 3, what did he hit, like 4 in a row?
Yeah.
Whew, how do you defend him?
Well, we don't.
No, we do not.
We just say, oh, well. What the hell?
You know what it is, Joe? It's draft week.
Oh,
are you
that's
ready?
Right. Draft week. You ready?
For
the NFL.
NFL takes over the whole scene on. Maybe that's why they're not playing till Friday, because
they don't want to interfere with the draft.
First round.
So,
God, I hope that's not
Where
it.
are they doing this one?
I think we're in Kansas City.
Really?
I think so. But it reminded me of years ago when we made the switch to become the home of sports talk here in the Twin Cities.
Oh, yeah.
With our affiliation with our friends at ESPN. When you two got a call about breaking down the draft, and this guy clearly had never listened to you two before.
We weren't going to do that. Will?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I think we have to make a move right now to try to strike a deal with Cleveland for the 4th overall pick in the draft.
Why?
I think we have to take Khalil at 3 to shore up that line, to shore up that side of the line.
They're going
and
to.
I think our main focus has to immediately shift to the defensive side of the ball. I think for too long we've been just, scabbing up our secondary, not going out and making the correct moves at safety or cornerback. So I think right now is a very important period in which we can.
Why would Cleveland want to trade? Who are we going to give Cleveland for their 4th overall pick?
Well, I was thinking since we got the Childress tie already there, and he probably, is more familiar with our roster than anybody else out there, he kind of has like a free pickings of what player he'd like to add to it. But what I was suggesting was we'd give our 2nd-round pick, which is the 35th overall. Mind you, Cleveland already has another first-round pick in the draft.
Yeah.
So they'll pick 22 overall. Now, if we give them our 35th overall, which is the 2nd rounder, they also have a 37th already.
What's that got to do with
it? At the end of 1 going into 2.
You haven't got.
Also throw in an additional.
Hey!
And a possible 3.
How about the 4th? How come? I still ask you the same question. Why are they going to give us their 4th pick?
Well, because I think it puts them in a better position. Being that they already have 1 first rounder this year, they'll already be set with 2 first rounders next year, and they can get somebody from our roster that Philly might be familiar with, and might contribute right away. Like let's say maybe a Toby Gerhardt, being that they're lacking a running back.
Are you from Anoka?
Okay, thank you.
Or possibly Joe Webb, being they just re-signed Stage Road.
They're gonna give you the 4th overall pick for a deal that includes Joe Webb. What do you think? They're all
just Joe Webb. Not just Joe Webb.
They all completely.
Well, I think it's a good idea myself.
All right, thank you.
I think okay.
Thanks.
The best, though, was Reusse thought it was me calling in.
Why would that guy call us?
I think
because he turns around and he goes, "Was that satire?" Because he's, "Where's Reavers? Is Reavers in that room?"
This is what I suspect. This guy that was a fan, he got through to Bob Hagan out at Winter Park and said, hey, I need a number for a sports talk station. And just to be a prankster, Hagen says, call these two
You got to
guys.
call at 3 o'clock, man. They are breaking it down.
All they wanted, boy, that guy was talking. You know what that was? That was worse than getting a call from Warren.
Oh, my
Remember
God.
Warren?
Yeah.
I
Warren?
finally had to tell Manny,
Warren.
don't put Warren through, please.
I once in a while, if I believe it, I'll listen to Coley, right?
Sure.
Warren calls Coley, and they put him on.
And let him go.
And I know Malinsky some, and I'll call in and say, get him up the air. He's like 70 now. He's some guy. Remember how crazy he used to drive Sid on Sunday?
Well, that and when he would call us, every player he recommended was some white guy from Wisconsin.
Yeah, but Sid, they'd put him through and Sid and say, "Oh, not him." You could hear him saying something. "Oh, not him." This guy was unbelievable.
Well, that was because that's the year they drafted Khalil. The Vikings did. Remember, third overall? And that was the year that, Joe, our draft coverage was so extensive that night because we carried it live on the flagship.
How extensive was it?
Well, the host of that show, after the third pick, left. And then the Vikings traded back into the first round, and I'm running the board saying...
Had Harrison Smith then, or what?
That was Harrison Smith. And I said, hey, the Vikings are picking again. And he said, I'm almost home. Bleep it. I'm not coming back.
Who was the host?
That'd be your guy, Joe Anderson.
Mr. Fun.
Yeah.
No, actually, he said, Reeves, cover for me.
Yeah.
I love Mr. Fun, but it's not going to say hard work on his death certificate. That's what we always say. Not going to say hard work.
We had Judd and Pelissero at Winter Park and Mr. Fun holding down the flagship. And all of a sudden, I said, where did Joe go? That was a fun day.
All right.
All right, goodbye.
See you at the fair?
For the
See you at the fair.
Thanks for the rehash of the.
Oh, yeah.
There's guys like that.
Oh, I know. Really? I know.
They take the NFL that serious.
Yeah.
Football. One thing, I used to try to write this satire of who they drafted, anyway, that would be actors and just all kinds of, and make 30 jokes. And then I'd go later in the draft, I'd get down to about 20 jokes, and then I got to a point I just couldn't make enough jokes. So because it was like grind and hard work. So anyway, that's it.
That's enough.
By this time next week, will the series be over?
The Wilds?
It could be.
Tuesday, Friday, Sunday. Tuesday,
Yeah, it will be.
By
You're
this
right.
time next week, we'll know.
We'll know.
All right. See ya. You have heard me discuss my relationship with Josh Arnold for some time. The reason I advocate that you give Josh a call is simple. Trust and results. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions. As has been said, through all of our relationship, past results do not guarantee future returns. And while that is true, Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. You can understand that Josh will make sure you are not paying more in fees than you are seeing in returns. Yes, that is more common than you would like to think. Do yourself a favor and have a booking with Josh for the 48-minute free evaluation. This is a no-obligation meeting. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. You will be glad that you did.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Patrick Reusse is a paid endorser.
Ricey here with the Canopy Group facts. Fact number one, the Canopy Group writes more new business in 1 month than a captive insurance company and agent write in 3 years. How is that possible? Here are the other facts to answer that question. Fact number two, the Canopy Group offers 16 different insurance companies, not just one. Fact number three, the Canopy Group offers combined single limit coverage, not split limit coverage. Fact number four, more. The Canopy Group offers only one deductible at claim time, not 2 or 3 or 4 or even more. Fact number 5, at renewal, the Canopy Group shops your insurance with their 15 other companies every year to make sure you're getting the best deal. Captives don't do this because they have only one company. Now that you have the facts, it's time to get your options. Call 800-967-3389 or visit thecanopygroup.com.